Hi, it's Steve Throndson. Thanks for tuning in again. We're going to talk about buyers. We're going to give you guys a series of tips so that you can be in the best position possible when you're buying a home. And of course, some people do it all the time. A lot of our clients are investors and they're buying all the time, several a year. And some people, it's their first. So we want to make sure that you're well equipped no matter where you're at in the process. The first thing we always talk about is be pre-approved. So it's one thing to get out there and look at houses, and sometimes people want to get a feel for what they're looking for. But I can tell you from experience, nothing is worse than falling in love with your dream home, only to find out that you can't get it. So talk to your bank, talk to us. We can connect you with a good mortgage professional, explore your options and know exactly what you're pre-approved for. Another question that comes up frequently is, I want to move, I want to buy a new house, but I need to sell something first. This is a very complex situation that's going to depend on what your property type is, where you're at, what your market is doing. This is going to be a one-on-one conversation because everybody's situation is going to be so different. In some cases, it makes sense to sell first. In some cases, it makes sense to sell after. There's a number of options, a lot of them that you may not know. They're a bit more complex. We're happy to walk you through all of those. Understanding closing costs. This is something that you need to do. So for example, in British Columbia, we have a land transfer tax. You're going to have home inspections. You're going to have appraisals. You're going to have GST in some cases. It's important to understand all of the costs so that there are no surprises whenever it is time for you to pull the trigger and get that house. Move your money. This is important, especially for first-time home buyers. We see this a lot where people will have money over here, money over here, money over here, and then when it comes time to qualify for your mortgage, your money's not where it needs to be. You need to be able to show 90 days history typically with your money, not always in one spot, but in a spot where it's easy to get at. So that money that you've got tucked in your mattress, you're going to want to put it in the bank and let it age there for 90 or so days. The next thing we can talk about for buyers is know what you want. I can remember when I first moved to Calgary, calling up a real estate agent that I was referred to and saying, I want to buy a house. And she said, what kind of house do you want? And I said, I don't know. And then she said, where do you want to live? And I said, I don't know. And then she said, where do you like to hang out? And I said, I'm new here. Where are your friends? I don't have any. Where are your family? Yeah, they're in another town. I made my life a lot more difficult than it had to be. So know what you want. Know what your budget is. Know what your basic needs are. Know what your must-haves, your extras, your bonuses, and really dial that in. In a perfect real estate search, you're going to have a criteria that's going to give you, say, 20 results, something to that effect. What you don't want to have is 300 results because you're going to just confuse yourself, slow down the process, and ultimately make it so that you may never get where you want to go. Other things you're going to want to ask yourself is condo life right for you? Are we talking condo? Are we talking single family home? What kind of home do you want? And then deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? Planes, trains, automobiles. What is going to get in the way and cause this to be something that you just can't tolerate? And let your real estate professional know that in advance. It's a lot better than falling in love with the dream home online, getting there only to find that you're right across from CP Rail's main station. Move-in ready or a fixer-upper. What do you want? A lot of people say they want a fixer-upper. They've seen it on TV. Realistically, do you have the time? Do you have the skill set? Do you have the contacts to do that? Or do you want to just be able to move in? Figure that out before you get out there and start looking. It's going to make your life a lot easier. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is who's working for you. You're going to want to interview some real estate agents and make sure that you have the right fit as your buyer's agent. And there's a right way to do this and a wrong way to do it. The wrong way to do it is to call up the listing agent and go see each individual house. Those listing agents, their job is to represent the seller. When you hire a buyer's agent, somebody to look after you, they're going to look after you and they're going to be able to show you all of the houses. It's important to note that. We're going to have another video about what to ask your buyer's agent so that you get the right person and get the right result. The next step is the buyer agreement. You're going to probably find a real estate agent you like, and he's probably going to ask you, he or she is going to ask you to sign some paperwork. These agreements work in your favor. They're something that you want to do. They outline the expectations from you, and they outline the expectations from us. And what that means is that when a great deal comes up, that real estate agent is obligated to call you first. So you want to embrace those agreements. Lean into them. They're good for all of us. And that's it. We've got more buyer tips. I can tell you more about that the next time we're out. Hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully that makes your transition easier. And of course, if you have any questions and you want to know what you're missing out by getting the right real estate agent, give us a call anytime. Never too busy to help.